So I'm just going to start my session today. Let's recap what we discussed in the last sessions. Okay, in the last session, like we have seen about how we can able to create instance, how we can deploy the application, and also okay. See, and also we have seen about how we can able to deploy application on the server, whatever you are trying to create it. This is what we discussed in the last sessions. We understood about last demo sessions, if you have clearly observed that how we can able to create a portable applications, how we can create unportable applications. The one which we tried yesterday, whatever we tried, it is nothing but we can't able to take this application anywhere, because whenever you want to read it by the same application, we required what exactly we have to is nothing but we can able to, again we have to create a server. In the server we have to write a code, and again in that that application we have to run in the server. But when you go with the Docker and we are going to create a portable applications, that means the whatever the code we have, and we are trying to put that code in and into a Docker image. This Docker image we can able to carry wherever you want. That is what exactly we have seen in the last session, right? So today's session, I'm just going to show you that practically how the load balancers are going to create. Now, how we are trying to distribute the traffic between the two servers. That is what exactly we are going to discuss about today's session. See, many of you guys are accessing a Hotstar or a Flipkart application or Amazon application or Meesho application or any website you take. So do you feel that only one server is running in backend to access your application from the server? No. So because there are multiple servers are running in the backend, so we are trying to understanding about how we can able to distribute the traffic between all the servers to get a response from the all the servers. That is what I'm trying to make you understand, guys, in this today's session. Okay, that is what the here we'll just try to understand. I'm just going to share my screen. Let's start with our today's session. Let's find. Let's first let me explain the concept. Okay. Now, first you have to try to understanding about what exactly it is. Now we have a server. In this server, let's see. Let's assume that we have deployed the Flipkart application. Okay. But when customers are trying to access your application right now, so this is my let's assume that laptop. In the laptop, we are trying to open this web browser. In the web browser, we are hitting a www. Let's say flipkart.com we are hitting. So whenever you are going to send a request a www.flipkart.com, this is the URL I'm just typing in my browser. Now this request directly will go to the Flipkart website. You think that this is how the request will go to the Flipkart website, and from the server you are getting response the moment when you're trying to hit the URL. See, just go to the Google, open the new browser. I'll just mentioning about a Flipkart, right? When I mentioned about Flipkart, now click on the hit the enter. So when I click on hit enter, check that whether you are able to getting response or not. Yes, you are able to get a response, but we should understand about how this request will go to server. Now there is only one server I'm explaining, only one server we have, only one user. See, let's assume that I have deployed same application. I deployed Hotstar. I have deployed Hotstar in this particular server. So recently the tournament which is streaming application is nothing but a Hotstar. So ICC World Cup, the streamed on this particular Hotstar with a free of cost. Right. See, there are the 5.4 crores are the highest viewership for a single match. That means like this kind of request, it will just go to the server. How many requests? It is a 5 crores 40 lakhs request will go to the server. So do you think that this all the servers, when I send to a single server, my server is giving a response to each and every user? See, the moment when you hit Hotstar, it will just load the application. Immediately, it will just show you that which are the tournaments is happening over there. So when I click on this India versus, let's say, for example, Australia, the moment when you click on this watch, now immediately the application is loading. How quickly it is reacting to your request. So what is exactly it is going to be happening in the background? That is what we need to understand. So when there is a 5 crores people they wanted to access this particular application, whenever you send all the requests to a particular single server, you are going to get application downtime. See, what do you mean by application downtime? Application downtime, it is nothing but when there is a server got crashed due to the load. If it is unable to handle the request, whatever coming towards application, it is what we can call it as application downtime. See, when you keep send the multiple requests to the same server, what will happen? It is nothing but the request will not, even your request will go to the servers. If the server is not able to handle those minute requests, what will happen is nothing but the server it is going to be crashed. So what is this? What is the remedy for this? See, we have to go with the something it is called as a auto scaling. See, what is the concept is called as a auto scaling. See, every application required this concept is called as a auto scaling. See, what do you mean by auto scaling? See, whenever there is a traffic increases, so whenever the server it is occupied with a many request, so I have to create a one more server dynamically, and again we have to create a one more server dynamically. Like we have to create a more servers whenever there is a traffic increasing from one server to we end up the traffic is increasing more than what you expected. So here, for example, I set the condition, let's say CPU utilization. CPU utilization, it is greater than 80%, or let's say I mentioned greater than 80%. So whenever this server, it is CPU utilization more than 80%, and we'll just switch to the next server. I'm going to create one more server, which help of the auto scaling. This is the kind of automation I want to perform. And once we have increased the number of servers based on the traffic, let's say for 5 CR, there are 5 crores viewership it is there. So let's assume that my Hotstar backend based on the auto scaling, it is created 100 servers. So when you have the 100 servers, how to distribute the request to all the 100 servers? So when I send a request, if you keep on sending all the requests to single server, my application is going to be getting downtime, because when there is a more number of servers, more number of requests, it is going to increases. Your server, if you couldn't able to handle, definitely is going to have something. It is called the server. It is going to be crashed. So in order to distribute the traffic between all the servers, we have a concept. It is called as a load balancers. So very, very important. In real-time applications, we have to understanding about what is meant by load balancer. So we have a concept of the load balancer. Load balancer, it is nothing but it is going to accept the incoming traffic which comes from the customers, and it is going to distribute the traffic between the servers. This is what exactly the functionality of a load balancer. Now this is the first request go to the first load balancer, and load balancer will accept the incoming traffic. Then it is going to distribute the traffic to your particular server. Now, say for example, if another customer, it is going to send a request to your load balancer, it is going to accept the traffic from the from this particular customer, and this request will send it to the second server. So it is the first responsibility of a load balance is it is going to accept the incoming traffic, and it will distribute the traffic to the target machines, or I can say servers. This is what is the first functionality of a load balancer. So it is going to accept the incoming traffic, and it will distribute the traffic to the target servers. That is the first responsibilities of a load balancer. Even whenever you send a request, the request first will go to the servers. First request go to load balancer, then the request will go to the servers. And the second responsibility, before load balancer distribute traffic, it is going to check the health of the server. It is going to check the health of the servers. So why it has to check the health of the servers? That's my question. See, for example, this server is an inactive status. Assume that. But my load balancer will send a request to my inactive server. Can I get a response from my server? No. You are not going to get any response from your server if your server it is in active status. So this is the kind of problem we are going to face. To overcome this kind of problems, what we are going to do, we have to check the first health status. If your server is active status, then we have to try to send a traffic to your particular the server. This is what exactly we have to understanding about how it is going to distribute the traffic between this particular the servers. The first one we should understand about before load balancer distribute the traffic, it is going to check the health of the servers. See, once it is going to check the health of the server, see what will happen, it is nothing but it is going to check the ping status of the server. If the server is active status, then we'll try to distribute traffic to all the servers. This is the two responsibilities of a load balancer will do. If you just go to any cloud, any concept of the load balancer, these are the two responsibilities for load balancer. First one, it is going to accept the incoming traffic and it will distribute the traffic between the servers. The second one, before load balancer distribute the traffic, it is going to check the health of the server. If it is server is in active status, it is not going to read the traffic to a server. It is going to send traffic to a different server. This is what exactly we have to understand. See, in the first day one, we have seen about what is servers. In second day, we have seen about how we can create a servers, how we can deploy the applications. Now in day 3, we are discussing about how we can distribute the traffic to the multiple servers. There is a connection between the one session to other session. And also by end of the session, I'm just going to explain about what are the different kind of projects which we are trying to explain to the students. Why we are different from others. What exactly we're trying to focus. That is what exactly I'm just going to explain in today's session. Okay, let's jump into the practical session and try to understanding about how this load balancer will distribute the traffic between all the servers. Okay, let's do it now. I'll just require 2 servers right now. So what I will do it, I will just log into my AWS account. I'll create 2 servers right now. Go to the EC2 instances here and go to instances. Go to instances. Now I'm going to click on the launch instance. So when I click on the launch instance, now we have to provide the instance name. The instance name which I'm giving it is a web server. First, I'm just going to implement this part. So I need a server. I'm going to deploy different application to different servers. But in real time, we are going to deploy same application in all the servers. Now I want to show you that practically how it is going to distribute the traffic between the servers. That's the reason I'll go with the load balancers. So go with this web server. And if you just come down, we have to go to something. It is called as a Amazon Linux here. Let me just go with this here. I wanted to, yes, 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. The key pair, I'll choose a key pair XLR. The next is the key pair which I'm selecting right now. And if we just go to here, network settings. Under network settings, we need protocols, right? One is SSH protocol, SFTP. I have created a security group yesterday, the same security group which I'm going to use right now. So security group is nothing but it contains set of firewalls. So I'm just going to select the security group. Let's say this is which I'm going to selecting right now, and come down how much storage required for the servers. So when I mention here 30, This is nothing but one virtual machine we are assigned 30 GB here. Okay. And if we just come down, this is like, different kind of configuration which we selected. The first one we have seen about web server. The second one we have seen about Amazon Linux here. And we have to go with the instance type. The instance type we have seen about one CPU, 1 GB memory, and a key pair. They have given key pair nothing but XLR underscore Linux. And network settings we have given about security group, and the storage we have given 30 GB. Now we require two servers. So I'll just make it two right now here. Now click on the launch instance. The two instances which I'm creating right now, go to here, click on the view all instances. Now click on the refresh. You can see your two instances are pending status. Let me just change this one. Okay. Now let me go to the web server one. Click on this. Let me change this as like a web server 2. Okay, click on this tick mark. There are two servers which we have created right now. Click on the refresh. Click on the refresh. It is going to be initializing right now. Now we have to connect the web server one. Click on the connect the web server one. Go to the EC2@DNS name. Let me connect it. Okay, I'll just stop these instances. Go to here. Right click, new session, close this one. This is my server one. The first, let's try to convert this server as a web server and we can deploy the application. The commands, whatever we explained today, the same commands we are going to execute right now. The first type the command called sudo su. You are going to become the root user. After that, we have to install a HTTPD. Now, how we can do it? So just type the command called install httpd -y. So now I'm trying to installing my HTTPD web server. Now hit the enter. It is going to be install my web server. Now if you just type the command called cd space /var, go to www, and we have to go to the HTML folder. So when you go to the cd space var www HTML folder, it is nothing but default location of my web server where we can able to host your web applications. That is what exactly we have to move on. So go with the cd space /www HTML. Now here type the ls command. As of now, we don't have any applications or web pages, nothing we have. Now let's see how we can able to do it. Now I'm just going to va space index.html page which I'm creating right now. Go to the press I button. It is going to be insert mode. Let me take it. Let me just take the code from the Google. Okay, go to here. I'm just going to take the code. So I needed two different applications to show you that how it is going to distribute the traffic between two different applications. First, I'll take up this code. That click on the try yourself. You are going to Control A, Control C. That I'm trying to paste the code over here. Escape :WQ. You have saved the code. Now we have to start my server. How to start? Type the command called service httpd start. This is the command. It is going to help you to start your server. Now this is server it is running. So check manually whether application you are able to access or not. So go to the instance ID. Click on the open address. It is going to load your application, whatever you have, deployed. It is working or not. If it is taking time, means there is something it is going to wrong. Check the command called service httpd status command. It is active and running status. Still it is loading. Look at here. This site can't be reached. Why the site can't be reached? What is the problem? So I told you that whenever you are getting this site can't be reached problem, we have to check with the port, whether ports you configured properly or not. go to security, under security groups. You have to go with the security, under security groups. If you come down, go with this, click on the 8 inbound rules. Let's say, for example, delete this HTTP. Go here, click on this. I'm going to open Alt TC ports here right now. Go to the custom to anywhere. Now click on the save. We have saved this particular, we have saved. Now, if you just go to here, click on the refresh, check whether you are able to access the application which you deployed or not. Which is loading. Still, you are getting the same issue here, right? So, which is, this is the which one we have connected. Go to instances. Once again, which one I connected? It is 1 or 2. Go with this. Yeah, correct only. So let me go to here. The mentioned 0. Yes. Look at here. What are the application which I deployed? I am able to access. Even this website, you guys also can able to access whatever I deployed over here. Let me just provide the IP address. You guys check. Meanwhile, I will convert one more server as a web server. I will deploy different application over there. Now click on the connect. After that, we have to provide EC2 DNS name. Control C. Go to here. Right click. Go to the new session. Provide host name. Appearance. Click on the change. Make it 14. Go to the connection here. Provide 60. Go to SSH. Authorization. Click on the browse. Provide XLR Linux here. Yes. Now I am connecting other server. Let me change the color to make the differentiate, which is my server 1, which is my server 2 here. I'll click on the modify. I'm just going to change the color here. Okay, click on the apply. So first, when you type the command called sudo su, you are going to become a root user, right? Type the command called yum space install httpd-y. See, you're trying to install HTTPD server right now. Once you got installed, then we have to mention, type the command called cd /var www. We have to go to the HTML folder. Now here, I'll just create the new application page. In this page, type the press I button. It is going to be insert mode. Now here, what exactly we have to do is nothing but we have to take up a different application, right? So come down. I'll take up this application code. So click on Control A, Control C. Now go to here, right click. You're going to copy the code, escape, WQ. Now type the command called service httpd start. This is, you are going to start the server. Type the command called service httpd status. You are trying to start your server. It is running fine now. So now let's check whether you are able to connect your server and you are able to access the application which you deployed. Now this is the path we have done with this deploying applications. There are 2 different applications running in 2 different servers. This is also I'm going to share in the chat box. You can cross verify that whether it is working or not. Now the 2 servers we have created, in 2 different servers we deployed 2 different applications. Okay. Now we want to see that how to configure the load balancer. How to configure the load balancer, how to distribute the traffic between these 2 servers. That is what exactly we have to understanding about this particular topic called as a load balancer. Now, how to configure the server right now, how to configure load balancers, very simple. We know that this is the 2 options we have. First, let me show you that step-by-step process. What are the different steps we have to follow to create load balancer. See, if we just come down, there is an option called as the load balancers. When I click on this load balancers, I'm going to click on the create a new load balancer. There are 2, 3, 4 types of load balancers we have. One is nothing but application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer, classic load balancer. See, in this today's session, we talk about how to configure the classic load balancers. So when I click on this one, try to understand about choose a classic load balancer when you have an existing application running in the EC2 classic network. This is what we have to understanding about what is meant by classic load balancer and where exactly it is running. When you click on the create, the first we have to provide the load balancer name. See, I'm just going to mention about let's say it is a demo hyphen LB. That is the name of the load balancer which I'm giving right now. See, it is your wish, the name, whatever you want to provide. See, I'm just going to provide the load balancer name. The second one scheme, you have to select you have to select like internet facing. So what do you mean by internet facing? See, internet facing is nothing but whatever the request comes from, all the request, all the request, it is going to make it here. See, an the internet facing load balancer route, the request from the clients over the internet to the target missions. So whenever you want to access the application, you are going to access to the web browser. That is the reason we have to do with this help of the internet facing. That is the reason we have to go with the internet facing here. So if you go with the internal, it is nothing but an internal load balancer route the request from the clients to target using the private IP address. See, whenever you want to access the application, we are accessing the public IP address. That is how we are trying to access the application to the external, to the web browsers. Whenever you want to check locally whether application working or not, we have to check with help of the private IP address. That is the difference between private and public IP address. Now we want to perform things on the internet. That is the reason I'll go something it is called as the internet facing. Next one is network mapping. In the network mapping, we have to provide the VPC ID. So in this VPC ID, we have to configure this vector load balancer in this particular availability zones. Now I'm just going to choose two availability zones to create a high. I'm just going to choose two different availability zones to create a high availability load balancer. Now, and also one more point, whenever you are trying to configure load balancer, you should be very careful that where you are trying to configuring. So where your instances are running, the same availability zone only we have to configure this particular load balancer. Otherwise, we can't able to attach the instances what we have created to the load balancer. This is a point also to be noted. Now we are created load balancer and I'm just choosing two different options. I'm just choosing right now. The first one, look at here. It is I have selected AP-South-1A. As in two regions, I'm trying to configure my load balancer. If it just come down, we have to go with the security groups. So why? Because if you want to access application to the web browser, it required a set of protocols. That is the reason only we have to select the security group called XLR-security, where we have defined that HTTP and SSH protocol. Now, once we have done with the security, then we are going with the listener and the routing here. See, what is meant by listener? Whenever you send a request to the web browser, the HTTP request will go to the server. Whenever you want to access the response from the server, we should open the port number 80. Then only we can able to get a response. Otherwise, we won't get any response. See, it is telling that a listener is a process that checks the connection request using a protocol and a port you're going to configure. This is very, very important. Without configuring the protocol, without configuring the port numbers, we can't able to access any application to the web browser or to the any browser if we'll go to here. So we are configuring the HTTP request over here, the listener protocol HTTP, the listener port number 80. Because HTTP port number is by default is 80. That is the reason you can make it listener protocol HTTP. Listener port number is a 80. And if you just come down, look at the health checks. Now health is very important, right? I told you that before it is going to send a request to the server, it is going to check the health of the server. Now, how it is going to check the health of the server? That is what we have to understanding about health check. Now, look at we have ping protocol. It is nothing but HTTP and the ping port number is 80. This is a ping path, nothing but integrated HTML file we have. So we have to understanding about how it is going to check the health of this particular server. For example, how do you decide that whether server is active status, inactive status? We have something it is called as a ping protocol. So when I just go to the command prompt, for example, I'm just trying to send a ping request to my Google server or Flipkart server. See, for example, a ping space www.flipkart.com. It is going to provide ping request to server to check this whether server it is active status or not. That is the reason when I mentioned about ping space www.flipkart.com. Look at here, you are getting the response from the server. Which server it is? Flipkart server. See, it is sent the 4 packets, received 4. We don't have any pocket loss, and we successfully able to access this particular application. We are getting response from this particular Flipkart server. The same way ping space. Now hit www.google.com. Now hit the enter. Check that whether ping request go to the server here. Yes, the ping request going to the server. There are 4 packets we have sent, received 4, and we lost a 0. This is how it is going to check whether my server is running, whether I'm getting response or not. This is what we can call as a ping request, which we have sent to the server, whether you are getting response or not. Okay. Now we have seen same thing we are doing in the load balancer. We are trying to send a ping request to server to check the server is active status or not. Now, how do you check this? Now, if you just come down, you see that we are sending this ping protocol HTTP, and we are checking that ping path called in your HTML file. We are checking that whether it is a active status or inactive status. Now, this is like we have to something we need to understand very clearly. It is about advanced health check settings. Look at here, there's something called response timeout. See, what is my response timeout? This is my load balancer. I'm going to send a ping request to my server. Check that whether you are getting a response from the server or not. Whether you are getting a response from the server or not. So we have, when I send ping request to my server, if I'm getting response, then that is what we can call a response time. Within how much time do I have to get response from my server? This is what exactly you have to mention about response. So you have to get response within 2 seconds. If it is exceed more than 2 seconds, it will just take in 3 seconds, 5 seconds to give a response. Then we can decide it is a inactive status. I'll say you can say it is nothing but the response timeout. Now we have something it is called interval. What is my interval? Interval, it is nothing but how frequently you want to check the health of the server. Whether you want to check every 5 seconds, whether you want to check every 10 seconds. That is what exactly we have to mention. So we want to check the health of the server frequently, because we don't know what will happen when my server is going to be in active status. To make sure that I have to give a response to the customer request, I have to create an interval. So for example, if I'm just getting here 5 seconds, so every 5 seconds I'm sending ping request to my server. It is giving a response to my server. So I'm getting response from my server to load balancer. So every 5 seconds it is keeps sending request to my other server to check that whether the server is healthy or server is the inactive status. That is the reason we are going with something it is called as an interval. How frequently you want to check the health of the server. That is what we can call as the interval. Then we have to check something it is called as the unhealthy threshold. Unhealthy threshold means how you are going to decide that your server is active status or inactive status. I can't decide with the one attempt, right? So for example, for someone you are calling, they are not able to receive your call. You can't decide that something happened to that person. See, when you attempt multiple times, when he is not picking the call, we can assume that something happened to the person. He may go in deep sleep, or he is not able to pick the call. He's not feeling well. That's how we can assume the things. The same thing, when you want to confirm that your server is unhealthy, how we can do it? See, we have to go something it is called as unhealthy threshold. So here, see, whenever I mentioned about 2 here, that means it is going, my load balancer will send the two requests. The first request will go to the server. Now, if you are not getting a response, the second request also will send it to the load balancer server. If it is not getting response, then it is going to decide that the server is an active status. It is a unhealthy status. If it goes healthy status, look at here. The first request will go to the first request. It will go to the first server, and second request also it will go to the second same server. If the both requests are getting response, then you can decide that it is a healthy status. It is your wish how many attempts you can do it, and we can decide it. See, it is clearly mentioned the number of consecutive health checks success before declaring and EC2 instance is healthy. EC2 instance is healthy. So number of consecutive health checks. Number of consecutive health check success before declaring EC2 instance healthy. This is the what exactly we have to understanding about this thing here. So we can see about response timeout. We have seen about what is meant by all these things. Okay, this it is what we can call it as a advanced health check. See, once you're done with advanced health check, then we are going with a very important step. It is called as the instances. Now I'm just going to attach the instances whatever you have. See, we can add the instances to register a target load balancer. Like look at here. Now click on the add instances. We can decide that how many instances you want to add to this particular load balancer. Now we are trying to add this to web server 1, web server 2. Click on the confirm. So we are trying to creating these two servers. One is the web server 1 we have attached. One is the web server 2 we have attached. This both are a running status. Now, if we come down, we are going to check the summary screen. Like what is what is the load balancer name? What is internet facing? What is the VPC you have attached? Which availability zones you activated? What is the health check we have performed? The number of instances, how many you attached, and the security groups, whatever you define, which protocol you enable. See, all these things you are trying to check over here, right? All these things you are going to check over here. Now click on the create a load balancer. So when you click on the create load balancer, look at here, the successfully created load balancer demo-lb. See that it might be take a few minutes for your load balancer to fully set up, ready to route the traffic. Targets will also take a few minutes to complete the registration process and pass the initial health check. So when the initial health check it is passed, then only your it is going to be active status. This is a load balancer which we created right now. Look at it is got general DNS name. See, whenever you have the 10 servers, 10 servers have 10 different URLs, different IP addresses. But I want to create a static IP address for all the servers because I can't able to access individual servers, right? All those servers I have to run at one roof. That is what we can call as load balancer. My load balancer, we can distribute the traffic between all the servers. That is the reason we are going to create something. It is called as a static, DNS name as static IP address. This is the static IP address of my load balancer. Whenever I want to access the servers, I'm going to access through this particular DNS names. See, when I click on this name, you can see that there are two status. Two instances are in service. And look at the hosted zone where you hosted and what is the VPC network. What are the configuration you have done? The configuration you can able to check over here. Look at which is the listener protocol. What is the network mapping you did? What is the security you did? And also what is the health check you had? It is going to be passed. See, 2 consecutive health check success, 2 consecutive health check failure, timeout 2 seconds, interval 5 seconds, and go to target instances. If it just see that, if it is showing out of service, that means your load balancer, for load balancer, the instance is not connected. That is what we have to understanding about in service. Now, so I'm just going to access my load balancer right now. See how it is going to distribute the traffic. So I hope you guys are following me. Let me just go with the new tab and provide like provide the DNS name of load balancer. Check whether you are able to access or not. Whether you are able to access. See that I'm able to access the response from server one. See, look at my screen. How it is going to different responses I'm going to get. Click on the refresh. Click on the refresh now. Whenever I am going to send a refresh, that means the first request will go to the load balancer. Now click on the refresh. See, I'm getting different response. Click on the refresh, getting different response. Click on the refresh, different responses. Now, how this load balancer is going to distribute traffic? On what basis is going to distribute the traffic? You might have a question. Load balancer will use a round robin algorithm in a load balancer. What is meant by a round robin algorithm? The round robin algorithm will distribute the traffic evenly to all the servers. That is what exactly we have to understanding about what is meant by round robin algorithm. When I click on the refresh here, see it is keep distributing traffic to this particular servers. See how it is going to distribute the traffic, whether you are getting a response or not. I'm just click on the refresh. You're getting response from different requests. So the same URL I'm just going to share in the chat box. You guys confirm me whether you're experiencing same thing or not. I see responses. You guys can able to get the same thing, right? So this is how we have to experience each and every concept. The way I showed you that, the same way we are trying to take up each and every class the going forward. So I think with this today's sessions, we're done with the demo sessions. If you guys are really interested to take up the course with us, we are happy to help you to recording the placements, and also we are trying to teach you the 100% end-to-end CI/CD pipelines with the practical knowledge. Now you understood about how this load balancer is going to work, how it is going to distribute the traffic. The same way we are going to distribute. I mean, say the same way we are trying to explain about each and every concept. Now, let me explain the product oriented. I'm going to say what are the products which we are going to cover in this particular course curriculum. See, when I just show you that, see, we are going to take up the Google and IBM open source projects. The same projects we are trying to explain to the participants. See, for example, when I go with the microservice demo applications. In this microservice demo application, what you will see, this is a Google open source project. Let's do is online boutique application. It is a cloud first microservice demo application. It is like a constants of 11 tier microservices application. This application is a web-based e-commerce application where users can browse the items, add the items to the cart and purchase them. See, like this, we'll take up the real-time products and we are going to explain that how we can able to convert this application to microservices, where we can deploy this microservices, how we can able to create a clusters. Now, all these things we are going to explain from the scratch to the end to end. Okay. So this is one of the application where we are going to learn this particular course curriculum. And if we just come down, see, this is like a microservices we have. What is the ad service, a cart service, checkout service, currency service, email service, front-end service, load generator. So you have to understand about how to write YAML files for this, all the services, how to convert into Docker images, how we can deploy all the Docker image in the cluster. All these things we are trying to discuss about when we move on to the the codes. So I already explained my primary target, my primary objective is always focusing on Docker and the Kubernetes, because I know that how the industry is looking for, which tool it is looking for. So we are trying to understanding about what is meant by Kubernetes, what is Docker. So also I'm just going to explain about Terraform with a high level and also Ansible and Jenkins. So apart this, we'll discuss about other tools, but these other tools are very, very important. And Grafana, the Prometheus also, it is very important. So because the monitoring tools going to play a crucial role to monitor the applications, right? This is what exactly we are trying to focus. So same way, if you just go to the other projects, there are small projects also available with us. I'm just going to show you that one as well. So it is purely application oriented training. Will just make you to understand about how we have to understanding about like Kubernetes or Docker. See, for example, if you just go to the source code, so we have these are the different kind of applications we have. How to create API gateway application, or else a currency conversion service, or exchange service, or naming server. How do we can able to create calculators? Now, how we can able to convert this all the service into Docker images? How we can deploy into the Kubernetes platform? And also, you should understand about how we can able to create a CI/CD pipeline, and how you automatically building a Docker images, how automatically you are trying to create a clusters, deploying application in the Kubernetes. So all these things you have to understand very clearly about the each and every a topic. So that's the reason will we are trying to do it more course on the hands-on. Not only these projects. If you just look at my GitHub repository, there are many projects are there. So we are trying to understanding about the each and every project and how we are trying to do it. So there are 1,115 repositories we have. So we are trying to understanding about how we are going to work with the different projects. So also we are going to, I told you that we are going to work on the 3 or 4 microservice applications, so that you will understand about how practically we have to understand about all these things. Okay. So if you have any question, you can just feel free to ask now. I'm just gonna ask participant to unmute. Yes, guys, you can, if you have any question, you can openly ask regarding the codes or whatever you have. So I hope you guys don't have any questions. If you have any question, please reach out, respective consultants. Definitely, they are going to help you out to make you understanding about all the concepts. But from tomorrow, we're going to start with the from the day one concepts. I hope you guys you there. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.